Morning. How'd you sleep? I slept okay. Uh, all things considered, I did wake up quite a few times in the middle of the night because I had to go to the bathroom. And then around 4 o'clock, which is about the time it always happens, I was awake and had an annoying amount of energy that kept me from going back to sleep until almost 6, maybe 5:30 ish. But yeah, it seems like most days if I go to bed and I can fall asleep right away, then I typically wake up around 3 or 4 and I'm up for a little while. Fortunately, I don't typically have to be at work super early. Uh, so as long as I fall back asleep before 6, then I can get another couple of hours before my alarm goes off. I know I had another strange dream. I don't particularly remember it though. Probably should start writing it down uh, when I wake up and then thinking about them later just to, I don't know, have a chuckle. Doesn't really seem like I'm processing anything, I don't think, but you never know. Anyway, today is Wednesday, and I am on my way back to a leadership conference this weekend. This is the second part, and so I am excited to see what's in store. I'm also a little nervous about what's in store because I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about or what I'll be asked to do. The first weekend was insightful. It was, as I said, emotional in a way that I wasn't fully prepared for. And as you go through this second weekend, it is, in their estimation, more intense. But again, not much information about how or why or there's just not a lot of available information because they don't want you to prepare. They want you to react organically and be present in the moment, which I understand. Uh, I had similar hesitation about weekend one, and it turned out fine. I made some great friends. So, yeah, that is today's Wednesday, so I'll drive down tonight, and then I'm there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Uh, this past weekend, my husband and I and the dogs went to Whitecap Beach, which is a part of Corpus that we really like. The first time that he and I took a trip down to the Texas coast together, that's where we stayed. Uh, and Corpus is fairly big. Uh, Corpus, Port Aransas area, but Whitecap is just, you know, just busy enough for there to be things to do and places to eat, but not quite so busy that there are hundreds or thousands of tourists and we don't get a decent spot on the beach when we drive up. But yeah, I was excited because I know that my husband doesn't particularly like the beach, but he loves me. And the last time that we went with the dogs, neither of them had a very good time. And that was kind of heartbreaking in a way because I love the beach. Uh, Part of the reason why I wanted to get married in or near the water was just because the beach is my center. It's my happy place. It's where I let go of things, where I find strength and calm. And so when my dogs got to the beach and they did not enjoy the sand, uh, they did not enjoy the weather, they did not enjoy being outside. When the water touched their paws, they ran away. And so yeah, the first time was not a good experience. But this time, they seemed a little more up for it. They didn't run away from the water. They didn't go, rushing in and trying to do little puppy cannonballs, but they did let the water wash up onto their feet, and they got kind of ankle deep into the water, which was cool. My family was also there, so there were about 50 people, my brothers and sisters, nephews and nieces, great nephews and great nieces. So we spent some time together on the beach on Saturday and barbecued hamburgers. It was just really nice. So I was off of work on Friday and Monday because of this beach trip. And so I didn't record on Monday because I was on vacation. I didn't record yesterday because I was kind of preparing myself for this backlog of work, which seems to always be waiting for me when I am away from the office during a regularly scheduled workday. But it wasn't that bad. It was a really good day at work. I had a few meetings and a new patient and got through it. Thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, my mind was kind of all over the place. And I thought I would just explore depression a little bit and talk about this kind of nonsensical response, which some people don't experience severe depression seem to have when they meet somebody who talks openly about being depressed. And it's not helpful. So when people say, just wake up and choose to be different, just wake up and choose to be happy, it, first of all, please don't say that to somebody because it's reductive of their human experience and it's dismissive and not at all helpful. I understand the kind of motivational nuance behind trying to tell someone like try to find the silver lining, just wake up and choose to be happy. Um, if I could do that, I wouldn't be depressed. If I could just wake up and say, I'm tired of feeling this way, and so I choose not to feel this way, I would. Uh, the choice to be happy implies that I am choosing to be depressed, and things aren't quite that simple. So, yes, at some point, you are magnifying your own experience by dwelling and not trying to find the cause and not trying to navigate away from those feelings. That typically requires some emotional inventory and some deep introspection, even some inner child work with maybe with a mental health professional or on your own. There are some great books out there about reparenting your inner child, but it's not as simple as just saying, "Oh, I'm sad today, and so I'm going to choose to be happy." Depression is sometimes a nutritional imbalance, or at least it can be magnified or amplified by a nutritional imbalance. What we are finding in functional psychology and in allopathic or traditional medicine is that quite a few conditions in the DSM-5 or quite a few of the established and accepted psychological or mental health conditions have contributing factors in nutrition. And so we know that vitamin D, for example, is important, as is zinc and omega 3s. And when those three things together are suboptimal, it can be difficult to navigate emotions. And so, one of the things that we need to explore when you are choosing to be happy is what is the cause of your depression? Is there an emotional moment or traumatic moment, a loss, a betrayal, some sort of external stressor that you have not accepted or processed? The second thing is, chemically speaking, are we dealing with a serotonin issue or a dopamine issue or some sort of neurotransmitter that is giving us the sads because we don't have enough of them? And then thirdly, are there possibly some contributing nutritional factors? And so when you get that whole picture, you can start to work on what you think are the triggers for your depression. And then it makes it a little easier to choose to be happy. But first, you have to be very honest with yourself about how you're feeling and why you think you might be feeling that way. The One of the things that I tell people all of the time who tell me that they've dealt with their emotions is, one of the things that I ask is, how did you deal with your emotions? Did you actually explore them? Did you sit in them and allow yourself to be kind of overwhelmed by the emotion and then trace it back to where it might have started and leave that emotion with a better understanding of yourself or the situation? And if you didn't, then you didn't process the emotion. What you did was identify the emotion and then you stuffed it down. So you said, for example, um, I'm I'm sad, and I'm sad because I lost this particular person, but I've got to go to work, and so okay, I'm sad, but I'll deal with that later. Or you said I'm angry, but when I'm angry, I raise my voice and I lose control, and so I'm not going to allow myself to be angry, but I see that I'm angry, and so you stuffed it down. And that's not processing, that's identifying. You cannot logic your way out of a feeling. You cannot think your way out of a feeling. The only way out of a feeling is through it, even the darker ones. And that can be frightening for someone, which is why you need a support network that accepts you and supports you in a way that is safe for you to be vulnerable, for you to cry and be ugly. I'm a big fan of breaking things. I'm a big fan of breaking things. Don't break anything valuable and don't hurt anybody else. If you can get to a rage room, those are pretty great. They give you a baseball bat or a sledgehammer and you get to break boxes upon boxes of stuff and you don't have to do any of the cleanup. If you can't get to a rage room, then I usually suggest that you go to the Dollar Tree, uh, buy a couple of plates and a couple of glasses and a pillowcase. And then in a moment where you need to purge that feeling, put one of those items in the pillowcase, go out to the back patio or into the garage, and just yell and smash it to the ground and channel that feeling that you're trying to get rid of and allow yourself to purge it from your body in that kind of safe but also minimally destructive way. The pillowcases so that glass or ceramic shards don't go flying anywhere and cut you. Um, But anger is one of the first emotions that we learn, right? I mean, we don't like being put down. When we're being held, we don't like not being fed. We don't like feeling like we're going to fall or that things are loud. And so we don't really know what it is yet, but we know unhappy or anger. And so as adults, that is often also the case. We don't know exactly how we're feeling, but what it's coming out as is anger. Uh, and so when you don't know how you're feeling, that's usually where I tell you to start. Start with anger and see what comes up. Is it betrayal? Is it regret? Is it jealousy? Is it fear? Is it sadness? Is it something deeper than anger? And so sometimes what you can do is use the feelings wheel or the emotions wheel, and you take the kind of broader theme of a feeling and then trace it to something more specific and try and analyze that. There is, I will say, to intention setting and believing that if you are depressed, that you can feel better. And so intention setting is kind of like making a choice, but not exactly. Um, so waking up in the morning and trying to do things that help you feel centered or connected, or that help you feel joy, that string together these little moments of dopamine that can help you feel better and help your emotions feel lighter. That's not quite the same as simply making a choice to be happy. You have to do things that help you feel hope, that help you feel lighter, that help you feel joy or purpose or passion. And you have to chase these things, these behaviors or these actions, which lead to happier emotions. And it takes a lot of work. And when you don't have the neurotransmitter support or the vitamin or nutritional support to engage in those activities, it can be a really hard mountain to climb, metaphysically, metaphorically speaking. Um, and so excuse me, I'm merging into traffic. It can be a lot more challenging than just waking up in the morning and saying, okay, I'm going for a hike. Yeah. So don't tell people just choose to be happy. It's not helpful. It's disrespectful. And if you're not going to be supportive, then be silent. Anyway, it is Wednesday. I am almost at the office. I do not have a staff meeting today. So I've got a few minutes to prepare for my first session of the day. I am going to say goodbye for now. Um, I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me. And like we always do together, deep breath in, hold it, and out. And we'll finish with the Ho'oponopono. Thank you. Forgive you. I love you. Please forgive me. I'll see you next time.